It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Penn State Associate Head Women's Ice Hockey Coach, Allison Coomey. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about your coaching experience and how you got started?
Sure. It's kind of, I went to school for education. So, I get to say now that I get to teach what I love to do. So I'm fortunate. But I went to school for education. My mom's a teacher. And so that was really kind of the path I took. And then in my senior year of college, one of my former assistants that was coaching me had taken on a new job at a Division III school as a head coach. And halfway through my senior year, asked if I would be interested in maybe helping her out. So that's really how I got started in it. And I've been doing it ever since. So it was a good career path for me.
Can you talk about your collegiate career at Nicaragua?
Yeah. So I went to, so Niagara was like a brand new program when I was looking. And I actually was a two-sport athlete in high school. And, at that time, going to Niagara, it was more feasible to play two sports at that time. And so not only, hockey is my true passion, but I do love lacrosse too. So having the ability to play both at a school like that was great. And then again, being part of a new programming, helping establish that new program was really exciting to me. I have a twin sister as well. So she actually ended up at Niagara with me, and we both played hockey and lacrosse. Getting to share that experience with my twin was also really important and also a lot of fun.
That's pretty cool. Can you talk about, of course, balancing both sports as a college athlete?
Yeah, back then the only difficult part, and again, my true passion was hockey. So we started off in the fall, and um, late October was really when we started our games, and then went through till March. The only real conflict I had was my senior year. We were fortunate enough to go really far in our hockey season, so we ended up playing in the Frozen Four, which pushed our season to the end of March. And lacrosse was pretty much well underway then, so it was a little bit of a struggle to go from the ice to the field and go from skating to running and getting back acclimated to a field sport. But that was really the only challenge was trying to jump in when I knew that my lacrosse teammates had already been halfway through and really working hard from January. So
Can you talk about, of course, being the assistant from your alma mater?
yeah, that was a great experience. I was working at Plattsburgh State, which is a Division III school up in northern New York at the time, and had a great experience there. And my head coach that I played for at Niagara called and asked if I'd be interested in coming to be her assistant. And it was like my dream job, getting to go back. And I was fortunate. I was far enough removed where I really only coached one player that I played with. Had there been more, it may have been a little bit more challenging, but it was easy to sell the school because I was really passionate about it, and just a really great 4-year experience.
Can you talk about your time, of course, coaching at Plattsburgh in 2003 to 2004?
Yeah, like I said, Plattsburgh. I was there right before Niagara, and when I went there, I had applied. I really wanted to go for grad school and continue to coach. And Kevin Hool, it was his first year there as well. So we both kind of started at the same time, and he's been there ever since. He's had an amazing career at Plattsburgh. They've won numerous national championships. They're kind of like the Wisconsin, Minnesota of Division III. So being able to work with somebody like that. I know it was just a short time, but everything he did, and the way he treated the players, they were every bit a part of, what my experience was as a Division I athlete. I feel like they had the same type of experience as Division III athletes. So it was a lot of fun.
What did you accomplish coaching, of course, the international U.S. hockey team?
Yeah, so with my experience with the U18 team was a scout. At the tournament, I basically scouted our opponents and let the coaching staff know, what to look for as far as special teams and maybe players they should look out for. But great experience to really see that side of it. I mean, obviously, as a coach, we do a lot of scouting, but that's only a fraction. Whereas in this experience, I was kind of immersed in that role. And then with the national team, I've been fortunate enough to work quite a few national camps, for the selection process of the national program. So it's just good to like work with those athletes. They're so driven, and you're really not doing too much, just maybe fine tuning a couple details, but they're so driven and obviously want to be a part of the Olympic team. So it's just a really good environment to be around.
What was the transition like transferring from, of course, the U.S. team to going to Penn State?
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of gone back and forth while being here. Every experience is different. Obviously, being at Penn State in such a big school and all the successful programs we're surrounded by, it's pretty contagious. So it's fun to be in an environment where women's volleyball and women's soccer and obviously football and both basketballs are really competitive right now, and obviously our men's hockey, and I could go on the lacrosse teams and everything like that, but it's a great environment to you're surrounded by driven athletes, so it's not much different than being with a national program.
What have you accomplished so far at Penn State as the associate coach?
Yeah, so I mean, our head coach and I have been here this is our 4th year, and just taken over a program which was a little bit just obviously different from what the head coach Jeff Campersall now wants in his squad. So really just we look for players that are competitive, want to win, our hockey players. And so just trying to create a culture that's competitive, but really just like good people. We want to be surrounded by good people every day, and hopefully leading that by example as well.
Can you talk about, of course, the culture that you have helped build?
Yeah, I mean, it's a work in progress. Every year you're trying to get better. You're trying to get players in that know what it takes to win. Sometimes not knowing the history can be a good thing. Like we haven't won here, but we're young, so we're a young program. So that excitement of knowing like where we can go and where we're going is pretty fun to see. And we do have a lot of younger players now that push the pace in practice, but we have also older players that know what it takes to get to that next step too. So it's fun.
That's pretty amazing. Can you talk about, of course, the recruitment process on the ice hockey side of women's hockey?
Yeah, I mean, our world is small, so we're all coaches are going to the same tournaments, seeing the same kids. We have the same probably top group of kids on our list, and so it's really just trying to find the best fit and what we need for that year. So again, for us, the talent is out there, and we feel like we have a great product to sell with Penn State and our academic the academic possibilities here, as well as just the competitiveness in athletics and all of that. So really just finding the best fit, and like I said, character is a big part of it. We want to have good people in our program.
What do you look for in young athletes?
That's a good question. Like I said, like being grounded, I think knowing yourself, knowing what your strengths are, knowing what your weaknesses are, and really just understanding what you can bring. I think a lot of our um, in our job, a lot of times we're really trying to like let our players know what their strengths are when I think they do, but just really embracing that I think is a big part of it as well.
Can you talk about, of course, the official visit at Penn State and what that kind of entails?
Yeah, so I mean, official visits have kind of gone out the window. We're bringing them back now with the new rules and not being able to talk to student athletes until they're juniors in high school. So that official visit will start to come back. But for us, it's just really really for the potential student athletes to meet our team and really get to know the players. I think the players are your best advocates because they're in the day to day grind. We could tell them as much as we want about what we think of Penn State, but we're not walking on the sidewalks and attending class and practicing, actually physically practicing every day. So
Do the potential recruits get to see your practices and, of course, like try on the Penn State uniform?
we don't allow them to try on the Penn State uniform, but they do. They'll watch practices. Yeah, so they'll get to see kind of how we run things and how the coaches operate. I think that's a big part of it too. Knowing if you can fit into the staff and how we go about things.
What advice would you give upcoming high school athletes looking to play college ice hockey?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, our world is small, so trying to broaden your horizons. We only have 34. Well, close. We'll have 40 Division One competing schools, but that's a small number for the amount of players playing hockey these days. So just broaden your horizons. Have conversations with your club coaches and your parents as to what maybe they think could be a good fit, and trust that. I think a lot of times, obviously, the club coaches see these players every day. So they see every day, they know what you can bring. They can be an advocate for you. So also making sure that you're doing the right thing, on your club teams or in your high school, on your high school teams.
Who are some of the teams that you've played in your conference?
So in our conference, we have Syracuse, Robert Morris, Mercyhurst, RIT, and Lindenwood. Sorry, Lindenwood's the furthest west, so that came a little late. But yeah, so more regionally based for our conference, and then again, Lindenwood is a flight.
Do you also play teams like Maine?
Yeah, so we'll play teams out of conference. Obviously, this year's a little bit different. We're playing all just conference games, but we'll play teams from the West, we'll play teams from the East, and it changes up every couple of years. Where we'll go. Let's say we play Maine, and then they'll come here, and then after that 2-year cycle, we'll play another team.
How has it been like, of course, only playing conference games versus playing like some conference and then non-conference such as Maine?
Yeah, I mean, the only real difference is just seeing other teams and what they bring. Obviously, we're really familiar with the teams in our conference and the style of play from those teams. But when you play out of conference games, you get other styles of play and just a fresh look at maybe a team you haven't seen. So, and then the number of games, like the number of games we play this year are a little bit smaller because of that. So, just having the ability to really practice in those non-conference games of getting things done, we don't have that luxury. So we're like right in it.
What advice would you give, of course, upcoming college coaches looking to get into the industry?
I mean, I would say networking is probably the biggest thing. Making sure you're building relationships with, if you're a current club coach, building relationships with college coaches. In the conversations you're having with those coaches, are you honest about the student athletes you're trying to sell? Because that's a big part of it, knowing what fits the best fit, and having that recruitment type of eye is important. But bottom line, just relationships and putting your best foot forward every day.
Where can my listeners, of course, find you at on social media along with Penn State women's hockey?
So if you go to gopsusports.com and women's ice hockey, you can find all of our handles, or just search Penn State women's hockey in Instagram and Twitter, and you should be able to find it. My last name's Coomey, so Coomey, the number 2, which is my college number. I always stick to it as most of my handles. So pretty easy.
Thank you again, Allison, for your interview, and best of luck in this upcoming season at Penn State.
Thank you, Brandon.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at talk_Brandon, and you can find me on Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Allison, for your interview, and best of luck.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.